What happens when the population starts aging faster than society can keep up? It's simple, really. Healthcare systems buckle under the strain. Pensions stretch to their breaking point. Families struggle to care for their elders while managing their own lives. This isn't a distant crisis. It's happening right now. By 2050, the number of people aged 65 and older will nearly double, reaching 1.6 billion globally. The question isn't whether we're ready for this shift. It's how we'll adapt before it's too late. Today, 1 in 11 people worldwide is over 65. But by mid-century, that number will rise to 1 in 6. In countries like Japan and Italy, nearly 1 in 3 will be seniors by 2050. In China, the elderly population will outnumber the entire current US population, with 371 million people aged 65 or older. But this isn't just a developed world phenomenon. Across Africa, Latin America, and Asia, aging populations are skyrocketing, presenting new challenges for nations that are still building their healthcare and social systems. This rapid aging brings an unprecedented health crisis. Non-communicable diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer are surging. Among older adults, 92% have at least one chronic condition, and 77% have 2 or more. Alzheimer's and dementia are on the rise, with millions requiring constant care. The consequences are stark. Families stretched thin, governments scrambling to provide resources, and individuals losing independence and quality of life. Sensory declines add another layer of difficulty. As people age, their sense of taste and smell often diminishes. Food becomes less enjoyable, leading to poor dietary choices. Some turn to high-fat, salty, or sugary foods to enhance flavor, increasing their risk of hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. Nearly 50% of older adults already have high cholesterol, and 30% face arthritis, further complicating their ability to stay active and healthy. The impact of aging extends beyond health. Where someone lives, urban or rural, significantly shapes their experience. Urban areas offer better access to healthcare and community services, but also higher costs and social isolation. Meanwhile, rural areas often lack the infrastructure to support their elderly populations, leaving many isolated without adequate medical care or transportation. A growing trend is aging in place, where seniors prefer to remain in their homes and communities. But without the right support, this can lead to loneliness and limited access to resources. Education and income levels also play pivotal roles. People with higher education tend to live longer, healthier lives. In contrast, low education levels are linked to higher risks of chronic diseases, malnutrition, and obesity. In countries like China and Mexico, obesity among older adults with lower education levels has become a growing problem, further straining healthcare systems. Financial insecurity is a constant worry for many seniors. In developed nations, robust pension systems help ease the burden, but even these are under pressure. For example, the global age dependency ratio, the number of working-age people supporting retirees, is shrinking rapidly. In 1970, there were 10 workers for every person over 65. By 2050, that number will drop to just 4. This imbalance puts immense strain on social security and healthcare systems, raising the question, how will societies support their aging populations? For many in lower-income countries, retirement is simply not an option. Older adults continue to work into their 70s or 80s, often in physically demanding jobs. Even in wealthier nations, more seniors are returning to the workforce. By 2022, 27% of older men and 20% of older women in the United States were still employed, either out of necessity or to stay socially connected. Loneliness and social isolation are silent killers among older adults. Studies show that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, increasing the risk of heart disease, depression, and early death. Nearly 40% of adults over 65 in the US live alone, with that number rising to 56% for those aged 85 and older. This isolation isn't just emotional, it impacts physical health, reducing motivation to eat well or stay active. The World Health Organization has recognized the urgency of this crisis. Their global strategy for healthy aging focuses on nutrition, physical activity, and disease prevention. They estimate that addressing major risk factors, like poor diet, lack of exercise, and smoking, could prevent up to 80% of chronic diseases in older adults. That's a staggering opportunity to rewrite the narrative of aging from decline to vitality. Food science and culinary innovation are stepping up to meet the challenge. From developing nutrient-dense foods to creating texture-modified meals for those with chewing difficulties, the food industry is adapting. But it's not just about nutrition, it's about preserving the joy of eating. Chefs are finding ways to enhance flavors for seniors who have lost their sense of taste and smell, ensuring meals remain enjoyable and satisfying. The aging population isn't just a challenge, it's an opportunity. Societies can rethink how they approach healthcare, urban planning, and social support systems. For families, it's a chance to build stronger connections with older loved ones. For businesses, it's a call to innovate, creating products and services tailored to the needs of seniors. The future of aging is being written right now. How we respond will determine whether the golden years are truly golden or shadowed by struggle. The time to act is now, because this isn't just about statistics. It's about people. Your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, and one day perhaps it will be about you. Let's move on to the nutritional and physical concerns in aging. Ever heard of your body running out of fuel? It's when your muscles weaken, your bones become brittle, and your immune system, well, it falters. For millions of older adults, this is not a distant worry. It's their reality. Every year, 1 in 4 adults over the age of 65 falls, and for many, that fall leads to a broken hip, hospitalization, or worse. Even more alarming, nearly 50% of adults who suffer a hip fracture never regain their full mobility. These silent crises are preventable, but only if we act now. By the time most people reach their 60s, their ability to absorb critical nutrients like calcium and vitamin D plummets. Without these, bones weaken, increasing the risk of fractures. The numbers don't lie. Osteoporosis affects 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men globally over the age of 50. Many aren't even aware their bones are deteriorating until it's too late. Appetite often declines with age, but the consequences of not eating enough go far beyond hunger. Malnutrition impacts up to 1 in 3 older adults admitted to hospitals. It weakens the immune system, making infections harder to fight and recovery slower. For many, the condition isn't just about skipping meals, it's about hidden hunger. They eat enough calories, but miss out on essential vitamins and minerals. This quiet deficiency leaves their bodies vulnerable. Fatigue, muscle loss, and even cognitive decline start to creep in. Dehydration is another silent killer. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, and the body retains less water. It's a recipe for disaster. Dehydration is linked to kidney failure, urinary tract infections, and even confusion that can mimic dementia. Despite this, 40% of older adults are chronically underhydrated. A simple oversight, like not drinking enough water, can lead to emergency hospital visits. Physical inactivity only adds fuel to the fire. Nearly 75% of adults aged 65 and older don't meet the recommended guidelines for exercise. This inactivity accelerates muscle loss and weakens bones, increasing the risk of falls, a leading cause of injury-related deaths among seniors. Each year, 36 million falls are reported in the United States alone. That's 1 fall every second. For those who survive, the recovery is often long and painful, stripping away independence and quality of life. Chronic diseases compound these challenges. Over 90% of older adults in the U.S. have at least one chronic condition, such as diabetes, arthritis, or heart disease, and 77% have 2 or more. These conditions don't just affect the body, they impact daily life. For instance, managing diabetes requires careful attention to diet and exercise, but these are the very things many older adults struggle with due to declining health. Mental health is just as critical. Nearly 7 million older adults in the U.S. experience depression. Loneliness and isolation exacerbate the problem, leading to a vicious cycle of poor nutrition, inactivity, and declining physical health. Studies show that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, yet it's an epidemic among the elderly. Even medications can create hurdles. Many older adults take multiple prescriptions, a practice known as polypharmacy. While necessary, some medications interfere with nutrient absorption or cause side effects like nausea, making it even harder to maintain a healthy diet. Up to 50% of older adults are at risk of drug-nutrient interactions, yet this issue often goes unnoticed. Cultural and personal preferences matter too. Food is more than sustenance. It's deeply tied to identity and comfort. For someone who grew up eating spicy dishes, bland meals can feel like a punishment. Respecting these preferences while addressing nutritional needs is key to creating meals that are both satisfying and nourishing. Chewing and swallowing also become major obstacles for many seniors. Dental issues or conditions like Parkinson's disease can make eating physically painful or dangerous. It's estimated that over 30% of older adults have difficulty chewing, which often leads to avoiding food altogether. This can quickly spiral into malnutrition and weight loss. The good news is that many of these issues can be addressed. Education is a powerful tool. Teaching older adults to prioritize nutrient-dense foods, like whole grains, lean proteins, and fresh produce, can significantly improve health outcomes. Encouraging even small amounts of daily movement, like a 10-minute walk, can strengthen muscles and improve balance. Simple hydration habits, like keeping a water bottle within reach, can prevent life-threatening dehydration. Aging is inevitable, but suffering through it doesn't have to be. By addressing the nutritional and physical challenges older adults face, we can help them reclaim their health, independence, and quality of life. These aren't just statistics, they're a call to action. The time to prioritize the health of our aging population is now, isn't it?